There were three distinct body types. The first was called the Asthenic type. This is the physically frail individual, someone Kretschmer described as having a naturally delicate build. While some of his observations reflected the medical thinking of his time, the general description of the body type remains recognizable. An asthenic person typically has a lightly developed skeletal and muscular system. The chest and abdomen are narrow, the limbs appear long, and the overall physique is lean. They often look taller than they actually are because of their elongated proportions, even when their height is completely average. Kretschmer also left us with a few key visual cues, rather than an endless list of characteristics. That approach is useful because a person's appearance changes throughout life, making it difficult to rely on every individual feature. Instead, he focused on several distinctive markers. For the asthenic type, one of the most important features is what he called an angular profile. Viewed from the side, the face often appears elongated, with a prominent nose and a slightly receding chin, creating a noticeably angular silhouette. The second body type is the athletic type, which needs little explanation. This physique is characterized by well-developed muscles, broad shoulders, and the classic V-shaped build commonly associated with physical strength and masculinity. Kretschmer also described the athletic type as having a relatively large head set on a strong, well-defined neck. Finally, we come to the type that, personally, I find the most interesting, the Pyknic type. We'll discuss this type in greater detail later, but for now, it's worth mentioning a few of its defining characteristics. The most noticeable feature is the strong development of the body's internal cavities, which gives the chest and abdomen greater volume. Overall, the figure tends to resemble a rounded shape. Unlike the athletic build, which narrows toward the waist, the Pyknic body gradually becomes wider toward the lower part of the torso. Before going any further, there's one important point to mention. Kretschmer studied both men and women, but his final statistical conclusions were based primarily on male subjects. As a result, many of his original descriptions refer specifically to men. Returning to the Pyknic physique, even when someone maintains a healthy weight and stays physically fit, certain structural features often remain. According to Kretschmer, one of the easiest ways to recognize this body type is by looking at the face rather than the body. He referred to this as the pentagonal profile. A quick note before we continue. Whenever people hear about body types, there's a natural temptation to immediately classify themselves into one category or another. It's better to resist that impulse until you've learned the complete system. The pentagonal profile is typically associated with a less pronounced neck than in the athletic type. The transition from the jaw to the cheeks creates a broader, more rounded facial outline. Of course, not every individual will display every feature exactly as described, but these are the key structural characteristics. These three body types represent qualitatively different patterns of human physique.